There's a story about Virginia Satir that I absolutely love. She was doing a group therapy session and there were two people in the group who were really close friends. They were also business partners. And the two of them got into a huge fight. They were yelling at each other. They were blaming each other. They were criticizing each other. And after they both spoke, they both sat down. And when Satir noticed the posture that they had adopted, she said, "Oh, this is interesting." Then she got up from her chair and she walked over to the two of them and she stood between them and she looked at them and she said, "You know, you two are not nearly as angry with each other as you are with yourselves." And then she walked away. And both of those individuals looked at each other and they saw that she was right. They weren't actually angry with each other. They were angry with themselves. They were blaming each other for what they felt bad about themselves. And so one of the things that Satir did that was so brilliant was she noticed something very simple. She didn't just listen to what people were saying. She also read their body language. She called it the Satir Stance. What is the posture that your body adopts when you're speaking? When you're interacting with someone, your body is always telling a story. If you know what to look for, you can get a lot of information from the story your body tells. So let me tell you the 5 stories that Satir noticed people telling with their bodies. The first one is called the placater. The person is bent forward with their body. Their voice is soft. Their hands are open. They're basically trying to make themselves small to avoid any kind of pain or conflict. The second story that people tell is what Satir calls the blamer. The person leans forward with their body. They have one finger that's pointing out like they're accusing somebody else, and their voice is usually firm.
Anda pernah mendengar tentang Milton Erickson, terapis jenius yang mampu membantu ribuan orang mengubah hidupnya? Banyak yang mengira kehebatannya terletak pada teknik hipnosis yang rumit. Tapi sebenarnya, kekuatan Erickson jauh lebih dalam dari itu. Yang membuat dia istimewa adalah kehadirannya yang penuh makna. Dia tidak sekadar menggunakan metode, tapi menciptakan ruang aman bagi perubahan positif. Tanpa paksaan, tanpa menggurui, murni hadir dengan empati dan rasa ingin tahu yang tulus. Kabar gembiranya, Anda kini bisa mempelajari pendekatan unik Erickson melalui The Secret of Ericksonian Hypnosis for Healing and Therapy. Dalam paket lengkap ini, Anda akan mendapatkan 28 video pembelajaran beserta PDF panduan, e-book eksklusif tentang kehadiran yang menyembuhkan, e-sertifikat, akses webinar khusus, plus 1 sesi mentoring gratis. Ingin menguasai seni penyembuhan ala Milton Erickson? Klik link di deskripsi untuk informasi lengkap.
The third story that people tell is what Satir calls the computer. The person sits in an upright position, stiff, their face is flat, their eyes are looking straight ahead. And they speak in a monotone voice because they want to be as neutral as possible. The fourth story that people tell is what Satir calls the distractor. And it's when a person is moving around a lot, their eyes are darting around, they're not really focused on anyone, and their speech is disorganized because they're trying to avoid any kind of pain or conflict. But unlike the placater, the distractor is a little more agitated. The fifth story that people tell is what Satir calls the leveler. And this is the ideal stance. The person sits with their body in a relatively level position, not leaning too far forward or too far back. They make steady eye contact with whoever they're speaking with, and their voice is clear and even. So once you start to notice these different stances and you start to calibrate yourself with them, you can start to see when someone shifts from the leveler to one of the other stances, especially into the placater, the blamer, or the computer. And when you see that, you know that that person is starting to go into a place where they are going to shut down. That's called baseline detection. You've shifted from a safe place to a shutdown place. Once you've learned that, you can then start to notice when people are in the placater, blamer, or computer stance, because that means they're not being congruent. Their body's telling one story, but their words are telling another, and Satir would say, What are you holding back? What are you not saying? When you see a client smiling, yet their shoulders remain tense, you can then ask them, what are you holding back behind that smile? And this is not mind reading. It's actually noticing what most people have unconsciously done since the beginning of time. We all have a body language. It's a way of communicating that we all use. It's a non-verbal cueing system that we all rely on, and many times it's the only way we can truly understand what people are saying. So pay attention to the story your body is telling. Pay attention to the story other people's bodies are telling. Because, as Satir said, the body never lies. It's always telling us the truth, and if we learn to listen to it, we will never be the same again. Thank you for watching. See you soon.